And I suppose you can also do a radio show, too.
Well, as a matter of fact, join me, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive, every Tuesday at 10 for auto repair with personal care right here on The Source.
Started in 1975. It's Yendel's Building Materials. Whether you're making repairs, adding a room, or building a house, Yendel's constantly delivers excellent service and top quality materials and many of the tools and hardware you need to get the job done. At Yendel's, they take pride in supplying their customers with new and innovative products. Yendel's experience in truss design, manufacturing, and component materials is second to none. 834 North Magnolia Avenue in Ocala, 732-3000. Stop by to experience the difference.
Think you know Dex Imaging? Think again. In the office, streamlining communications. In the field, delivering top-notch service, enhancing productivity, and reducing downtime. In the data center, a part of the growing digital document revolution. In the world of business, supporting entrepreneurs and helping companies grow. In the forefront of technology, developing cutting-edge document management solutions. So if you think you know Dex Imaging, you don't know Dex.
Now you did it. Are you completely insane? He's back. He, who must not be named. The man, the myth, the only guy in Ocala to eat his own weight in fried pickles. Twice. Now, you asked for it. Sorta. Live and in person. It's Tom Schmitz.
Welcome back as we wrap up the week on Ocala Talks. A little overcast outside, but warm. Supposed to be mostly cloudy today. Sunny tomorrow for a little bit. Then the rain shows up tomorrow afternoon.
Yes.
Supposed to rain tomorrow evening. Thunderstorms possible.
Yes.
Then it's supposed to rain Sunday morning, clearing up about 3 hours before game time for the Super Bowl.
That's all right.
Or the big game. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. The big game. You know, so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Speaking of ridiculous, we're in the middle of dumb Crook news. This one from Germany.
Achtung! Und was ist da? Was ist da?
One wannabe thief has obviously watched too much television.
Und was?
When the 29-year-old tried to break into his neighbor's apartment by using his bank card, to try to jimmy it into lock.
Ja.
He woke up the owner.
Uh-oh.
In his haste to get away, the card snapped in half.
Uh-oh.
Leaving behind his name and account details.
Uh-oh.
The victim called up and read us the details off the card, police said. We went to the burglar's house. The other half of his bank card was sitting on his kitchen table.
Officer, I tell you what. My card got stolen. What's that on your table? Oh.
I know nothing.
I know nothing. Okay, Schultz.
Schultz, come with us for questioning. I know nothing.
I know nothing. I see nothing.
The last guy robbed a bank with his pay stub. This guy's trying to break into an apartment with his credit card.
Yeah.
And leaves his credit card with his name behind.
And then have to go to the bank and order a new one. Why?
I broke it off trying to rob a guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Back to Australia. The land down under.
Another Aussie. Okay.
One thief got more than he bargained for when he reached into the window of a parked car to snatch a tote that he saw laying in the back seat. He saw an opportunity. Window was open. He reached in, snatched the tote, and went to running.
And?
When he got to a safe place, he opened the tote, and immediately after opening the tote, screamed, "Call 911, call 911," which someone did. They come and found the man.
And?
He had been bitten because the bag he grabbed belonged to a professional snake catcher, Brad McDonald.
And?
Inside was a heavily venomous snake McDonald had just captured from an underground car park in Sydney, where his car was located at the time.
That's instant karma?
Instant karma. The would-be robber was had 4 fingers on his hand amputated because of the poison.
Oh, you're kidding.
He was able to live, but he did lose 4 fingers and did get 5 years in prison.
Good. I wonder what his nickname is in the Fingerless?
Yeah. The moral to that story is like the late Chief Greg Graham used to tell us, or Chief Balkin will tell you now, Sheriff Billy Woods will tell you.
What?
Roll your windows up. Lock your car.
Lock your car, especially with a venomous snake in there. Yes.
Roll your window up. Lock your cars.
Years ago, you're old enough to remember, they had the garbage strike in New York, New York.
Yes.
Big time.
Oh, piles of garbage all over the place.
A little old lady lived in an apartment, true story, lived in an apartment in New York. What's she going to do with her garbage? Well, she lived in New York. It was the holidays. She used to drive. Oh, might have not been the holidays. I don't remember, per se. But she got her garbage, put it in the garbage bag, put it in a box, wrapped that box up as a present, and left it in the seat of her car, left the window open. She come back, it was gone.
That's instant karma.
Instant karma.
The United States.
Of America, yeah.
2 burglars decided that do-it-yourself disguises were the way to go for their planned breaking and entering.
Uh-huh.
Matthew McNeely and Joe Miller. They went to break into a row of apartments in Iowa.
Yeah.
What might you think they used as their disguise?
In Ireland, they were...
In Iowa?
Oh, leprechaun? No.
No, they wore black permanent marker on their face.
Permanent!
The police caught the pair in their vehicle not long after they pulled the burglaries. Apparently, less than dynamic duo had been under the influence of alcohol.
Not kidding.
The arrest date, the first appearance was 3 days after the arrest. They still had black magic marker on their face.
Henceforth, the name permanent, yeah.
Note to self, don't drink and draw.
Don't drink and draw.
Just don't do it.
They're both, there was 2 of them.
Yeah.
So I know the job had to be thorough because one sat down, you do me.
I'll do you, yeah.
I do you. All right, Mr. Smart, right here. Oh,
Yeah.
I got you.
With Sharpies.
All right, go, of course.
And finally,
Last but not least,
Florida man. A naked Florida man
oh, naked, no less.
who danced in a fire while holding a knife,
What?
chanting in an unknown language
Yeah, it's called, ow,
in
ooh,
Cape
ooh.
Coral.
Oh, Cape Coral.
John Hennessy dropped the knife. He then swung a wooden stick at officers after burning himself in the fire on the front yard of a home. He told police, "I'm high on mushrooms. You can't hurt me."
Well, he remembered what he was high on at least.
They were able to taser the man and bring him under control,
I'm surprised.
taking him to the hospital where his burns were then attended to. He was charged with public indecency and resisting arrest without violence.
Well, poor guy was indecent.
He was dancing naked in a fire,
In a fire.
holding a knife. Doesn't that sound
But
like...
then he dropped the knife.
Doesn't that sound like you just solved Clue? He was naked in a fire with the knife.
Yeah, but he dropped the knife, so he had to pick up a stick.
It's like the new version of Clue. Instead of the ballroom with a candlestick, he was naked in a fire with the knife.
That's the indecent version. Remember that.
Yeah, it's the adult version.
The adult indecent.
Hey, Joe, time for On This Day in History.
Tell me, what happened in 1952?
On this day in history, 1952. And they've been being ignored ever since.
Well,
Don't walk signs. The first don't walk signs were installed in crosswalks in New York City.
in 1952, so they were electric and all that. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And nobody has paid attention to them in New York City
Don't walk.
ever.
No, and then they try to get him for jaywalk. I pity the cop that sees somebody jaywalk in New York and try to catch him.
1922.
Boom! Blend in with the crowd.
1922.
1922.
Reader's Digest.
Oh.
Published for the first time.
I like Reader's Digest.
DeWitt Wallace and his wife, Lila Wallace, published the first Reader's Digest magazine designed to provide abridged articles on a wide variety of subjects for easy reading.
Yeah, I was published.
Humor in Uniform is my favorite thing.
I was published in
You were in Humor in Uniform?
I did it.
It's one of my favorite things.
I got published in that. Yeah, wherever it is out there, but yeah, my name's on there. It's published. Yeah.
1917.
A little.
The
little
immigration,
ditty.
the U.S. Immigration Act. Congress passes the Immigration Act, which required a literacy test for immigrants, barred Asiatic laborers except for those from countries with special treaties or agreements with the U.S. So it barred people from China, Japan, those areas. It also said you had to be able to read English
Duh, how can you take a test?
before you could come into the country.
Well,
Well, I'm not even going there.
I know. I understand.
I know. Go to one of these large box lumber stores. It's half English and half Spanish. I want to know. I want to see Spanish. I want to see Italian. I want to see German. I'm prejudiced. Where's the rest of it? They're prejudiced against all the other.
You remember this? 1988.
Probably. I don't know.
Panamanian leader General Manuel Antonio Noriega, along with 16 associates, are charged with drug smuggling and money laundering. Noriega had himself been in charge of smuggling marijuana into the U.S. and assisting a cocaine cartel.
Cocaine.
Before it was known that Noriega was caught handling mass drug dealings, he was known as a promising military student. He even secured a position with the CIA. He was later fired from it as one consequence of leading the drug ring. Good call there, America. Good call.
we don't want to even.
And finally.
Oh, there's a finally? Okay.
On this day in history.
Yes.
Birthday, February 5th. He just passed away recently.
February 5th, what
This
year?
is the birthday, 1934 in Mobile, Alabama. This is the day that Hammerin' Hank Aaron was born.
Oh, yeah.
February 4th, 1934. He just, as you know, tragically passed away
I watched him
at
drive.
86 years old.
I watched him drive by me in North Carolina and waved at him.
That
was about it.
He was my guy. He was one of my favorite guys. Hey, I want to thank all my callers this week, all my guests this week. I want to thank Joe Martone for being in the studio this week. And to everybody in Radio Land that listens, without you, this show wouldn't be the success it is. Thank you for all that you all do every day in this community. Keep listening to free local radio and keep supporting it by giving us your marketing dollars every chance you can. Thanks, folks. We'll be back same place, same time, Monday. Have a great weekend.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pride.
Senate Democrats approved a budget resolution early Friday morning that will allow them to pass coronavirus relief without GOP support. The budget passed the Senate in a 50-50 party line vote, with Vice President Harris breaking the tie. The vote is the first step for being able to pass a subsequent coronavirus relief bill that can now bypass the filibuster in the Senate. Turkey's interior minister has accused the United States of being behind a 2016 failed coup that Ankara has blamed on U.S.-based Muslim preacher and businessman. In a prompt response to the comments on Thursday, the U.S. State Department said the accusations were wholly false. More than 250 people were killed in an attempted overthrow of President Recep Erdogan and his government. The Texas Department of Public Safety has apologized after mistakenly issuing an Amber Alert that said Chucky from the 1988 horror film Child's Play was a suspect in the kidnapping of his 5-year-old son, Glenn Ray. USA Radio News.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I had begun to notice after 10 days with Balance of Nature, I felt better, more energetic, and believe me, for me, that's something because I have energy anyway. But as old as I am, that was really something to start really noticing. You know, we're all responsible for choosing what our attitudes are, but I had a better mental outlook. I mean, I always try to be positive, but there were subtle things in me that I began to notice. I just felt a difference with this.
Get a wide variety of all your daily recommended servings of whole fruits and vegetables without having to leave your home. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code USA.
A couple of Kansas City Chiefs may miss the big game on Sunday, all because they wanted to clean up their hairdo. USA Radio News' Dan Araki has more.
The Kansas City Chiefs have placed 2 players on the COVID-19 reserve list ahead of Sunday's Super Bowl after they received a haircut from a barber who tested positive for the virus. Center Daniel Kilgore and wide receiver Demarcus Robinson were placed on the list as close contacts, but could be cleared to play in Sunday's game if they test negative for 5 consecutive days. Kilgore was actually mid-haircut when the barber received his test results. Both men were wearing masks at the time, and Kilgore insisted the barber finish the job. From the USA Radio News Ohio Bureau, I'm Dan Naraki.
U.S. Marshals on Thursday arrested a teenage fugitive who was wanted on murder charges in connection with a deadly Wisconsin mall shooting Sunday in Grand Chute outside of Green Bay. 17-year-old Desmond Ellis was arrested in Des Moines, Iowa for murdering 19-year-old Giovanni Frausto. Desmond faces first-degree intentional homicide charges. USA Radio News.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
As the National Football League gets ready for the Super Bowl on Sunday, Commissioner Roger Goodell said Thursday it took an amazing amount of work to get the season underway this year.
We're focused on making sure we finish out strong, but between our medical team, and Dr. Sills is here, all the experts that he brought together to help us to put the plan together, the players and the coaches and the clubs that did so much to implement those protocols and the intensive protocols and adapt throughout the season. And I think that's the big thing for us. We had to adapt at every stage, just like everybody else, just like the media, everybody else in this society. This was a year where we were all challenged. We all had to adapt, and we had to find innovative solutions to challenges. And I couldn't be prouder that the NFLPA and the NFL worked together in, I think, unprecedented fashion to be able to find those solutions together. Not only did we negotiate a 10-year CBA that was approved in March, literally the day of that, we started discussing about free agency and how free agents in the offseason would go forward. So it's been a lot of change, but it's also rewarding on that front. And the sacrifices that our players and coaches